Welcome into Point Blank, brought to you by Fitz Roofing. I'm Brandon Stranger, Sports Map Houston. That's Joel Blee. You can catch him on the Killer Bees weekdays from noon to 3 on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. If you haven't hit subscribe on this channel, we do appreciate it, and also hit like on the video. Hey, Joel, welcome in. This week, Nick Caserio has made some headlines with some of his quotes from that interview with the Texans flagship. And this is probably the most candid he's been since joining the team. He really had some things to say. And one of those things that he got into, like he's never gotten into before, is about Jack Easterby. And it was what really stood out from his comments about Jack Easterby is how definitive he was, and that Easterby is not involved in making football personnel decisions. So my simple question to you is this, Joel, do you buy it?
I really don't 100%, Brandon, but I think that the other thing is, I think it was a necessity that had to be done, because I think we're looking at two different issues here. Look, without Jack Easterby, there is no Nick Caserio in Houston. So I think whether it's publicized or discussed internally or externally, there is a kind of a I owe you one factor with Caserio to some degree. I also think that after this last season, Caserio wanted to see for himself what was going on with Easterby to make his own determination. But the one thing that he could figure out more than anything else is externally, as it relates to players and agents and other teams in this league, and especially with the national media, there's an extreme negative that's associated with Jack Easterby. But he knows internally, Cal, being his best friend, is not going to let Jack Easterby go anywhere. So he had to do something to kind of reset the deck and get people to realize, one, Jack Easterby's not going anywhere, but two, stop worrying about him on the football operations side, because it's all me and it goes through me and no one else, so that he can try and get people to move on, because it's a black cloud that hovers over that stadium and that office every single day on Kirby. And the fact of the matter is, if Jack's not going anywhere, this was the first line of defense for Nick Caserio to try and convince people he may still be here, but he's not doing anything like he was with Bill O'Brien.
It is our first sign, though, that they really do understand how bad the optics are, and especially as it concerns to Jack Easterby, because really they had not acknowledged this much about Jack, especially about him being the punching bag, as Caserio called him. Before we get into kind of Jack's effect on the coaching search, give us a word from Fitz Roofing.
Well, we love Fitz Roofing, because if you need anything done with your house, particularly obviously your roof, but anything to do with home repairs, your house, a leaky roof, or a new roof on your business or your home, they'll take care of you every step of the way. Go to fitzroofing.com and see all the different ways they can help you. But then more so than anything else, they'll give you a free no obligation inspection just by calling them. 832-521-3001. They come to you. They tell you what they can do. It costs you absolutely nothing. If you want them to do the job, just book the appointment. They take care of you every step of the way. It's Fitz Roofing, making a difference, one home at a time.
Joel, I think what's interesting is, again, how definitive Caserio was in saying that Easterby was not involved in player personnel decisions. But he didn't say anything about the coaching search. Do you think Jack Easterby is involved in looking for that new coach?
Well, I think that the bigger picture, Brandon, is the fact it's going to be a Patriots way type coach. They're going to hem and haw with you in the media, and they're going to let everybody know that they're interviewing all these different candidates. But at the end of the day, and we saw this with a lot of the candidates that are available or that were just let go in other situations, there has to be a chemistry and a pre-existing relationship between the general manager and the head coach. And it's just another reason why the Patriots way is going to be the only way that they go forward with this decision. And that includes Jack Easterby, because I think that Jack Easterby is going to tell you things that maybe even Nick Caserio wasn't aware of when they were in New England together, because he had a different kind of relationship with guys like Gerard Mayo or Josh McDaniels or Brian Flores. He's going to be able to tell you some extra things and have conversations with the other guy in the room that's going to know everything that he knew about those three guys when they were in New England. And they're going to share stories, and they're going to talk about the fit, and they're going to figure out that those are the kind of guys that they need so that everybody's on the same page. I think it's all fine and dandy to interview all these other candidates, but at the end of the day, they don't understand the Patriots way. They haven't worked in the Patriots way. And so therefore, it would actually be taking a step back they can't afford to take while trying to get someone up to speed on the Patriots way.
Joel, I have to ask you this, because we get a lot of comments and people say, oh, you guys won't stop talking about Jack Easterby. But here's the deal, is Nick Caserio admitted that questions about Jack Easterby are coming up in the interview process for coach. Are we ever going to get to a day in which we're not talking about Jack Easterby?
I mean, it would be the ideal situation if you're a fan, a media member, or in any way, shape, or form associated with the Houston Texans. Because, with the show every day that we do, and we talk to national NFL types every week, every single person to a man or a woman comes to the table and says, it's a bad look. And Jack Easterby is not a positive. He is a negative. And he's someone that everybody is very leery of when they talk about any situation with the Houston Texans. It's amazing how quickly he has been on everyone's radar in the National Football League or those that cover it. And I think that until something is done with him, you're never going to be able to escape from under that cloud. And that cloud is all negativity. And so you hope that there's a day sooner rather than later. But as long as he's the owner's best friend, and he helped the general manager get the job, I think it's wishful thinking, and that's why Nick Caserio came out and did what he did, because he has to try and do some damage control so that he can worry about what he has to do, which is the true guy that makes the decisions in football.